Our next speaker is talking about something I didn't know about until I heard him rehearse, so I'm really excited about it. All you gamers out there, let's welcome Charles.
Thank you. All right, so my name's Charles, and I'm going to take the next few minutes to tell you guys about a game I kind of like, just a little bit. It's called Go. Go is a really old game. Turns out it's not as old as the gene for redheadedness, but it's pretty old. It's the oldest game that's still played in its original form. And it's also an expansive game. It's thought that there are more possible game variations than there are atoms in the universe. Whoa, right? You know? So all of those variations make the game really hard for computers to play. Go is considered one of the premier challenges for artificial intelligence programmers. It's also really hard for our brains, and it's thought that it can stop senile dementia and helps develop a child's ability to reason. It's made a few cameos in some films. You might recognize some of these, and it's not Pente and it's not Othello. So what is Go? Go is played on a board. It's a square grid that's got an equal number of horizontal and vertical lines. The most common sizes are these, and different colored pieces are used. Usually these are called stones, and they're played on the intersections of lines, not in the spaces. And players take turns. They can put a stone anywhere on the board, and once a stone is placed on the board, it stays there. So depending on where you play it, it's going to have a certain number of open spaces next to it. These are called liberties. And pieces, what happens after that? Once a player surrounds all of those liberties with their stones, then that's the only time that a stone is removed from the board. That stone is captured. If pieces are played next to a stone of the same color, then those stones are connected to one another. And now those stones share liberties. Those liberties, now the stones live and die together. So that means that this big group that you're about to see is still alive because it has the one liberty over to the side there. And when it only has one liberty, that's said to be in Atari. As soon as the opponent removes that last stone, then the whole group is captured. And every one of those captured stones is worth a point. All right, you guys are doing good. When I said you could put a stone anywhere, that's mostly true. There's one exception, and that's you can't put it someplace where it doesn't have any liberties. The exception to that is if you place a stone and it captures the group around it. That capturing kind of frees up all those liberties, and then that's okay. This gives rise to a tricky scenario where white can capture this black stone, and then you would think black could then capture that white stone again. That would lead to an infinite loop and chaos, and nobody wants that. So to prevent that, there's a rule called CO, and that basically says you can't repeat the same state of the board twice in a game. So to get around that, what you would do is you play somewhere else, if you really wanted to go back and capture that stone. So that's the trickiest thing. If you can get that, you're golden. So there's one more move that's a valid move, and that's you can pass. Typically, you only want to do this when it's the end of the game, and playing that move would cost you a point or so. And actually, the whole game ends typically when both players pass. It can also end when there's no other valid move, but yeah, don't want to do that. So what's the point? The point of the game is actually to surround territory. And at the end of the game, every open space that you've surrounded is worth a point. And that's in addition to the captured pieces that you have from earlier in the game. So that's it. Whoever gets the most territory wins the game. There's a few terms, or a few different names for Go in different languages. Googling Go doesn't really work all that well, so you might want to note these down. I really like this site called Sensei's Library. It's a wiki with all kinds of Go facts and information. So there's a saying in Go that it takes a minute to learn and a lifetime to master. I think I went over that minute for learning, but hopefully you have a better feel for the game now. And I encourage you to come out and play. There's a Go club, and everyone that's old or young is welcome to come. It's at the Asian Cultural Center, and we meet Fridays. Come out and play a game.